We'll tackle Netflix another day.
You're right. I'm like, I'll have time. We're small enough that they don't care. Well, they just, bro, we played the little trailer clip and we commented on it like you're supposed to in order to make the comment or the content transformative.
Yeah.
Anyways. Welcome to Colorful Anime, where we talk about anime from a colorful perspective. Episode 54. I got some friends with me. Jordan.
Yo.
Behind the mic, Malcolm.
Hello.
Chris ain't here.
Nah, this time she's got the Resident Evil virus at the crib.
Yeah, she got the
time.
She got the T virus. She turned into Nemesis as we speak. But no, I'm kidding. Hopes you feel better. Let's read our main topic. And again, if you're watching this main topic, that means that you didn't pay your money, man. Pay us. We need the help. Support small Black businesses in Black History Month. I feel like if you're, I'm gonna pull a Joe Biden. If you don't be on our Patreon, you ain't Black.
I can't believe he said that.
What is going on?
We need a remix of that for Black History Month.
We
need a Jersey remix of that.
Yeah. First of all,
Lance, I'm gonna need that from you, bro.
When they did the We Are Young Jersey, I just ever to this day, I might need to do that.
That'd be funny.
That's
but
right.
we totally need that. Yeah,
we need the Patreon. Shout out to our current Patreon supporters, but that means you missed all of the other fun topics that we just talked about that I want to talk about because you ain't watch it. But that Patreon subscription comes with our first tier, which is the full video, unedited ish, and also our second tier, which includes the unedited video. And includes the what are we reading and watching section that you can keep up with us. We can keep up with you. We might even use one of your shows or one that you comment as a topic to review, which will be really cool as well. Am I missing any of the promo items? I feel like I am.
In the second tier.
Chris got the
then it's the big dog tier, which is what is that?
Colorful tier.
It's
colorful people tier.
I feel terrible for promoting.
Well, and then
something.
part of it is the swag.
Yes,
so the swag, and then
I swear
I'm blanking too.
Right, either was right. Either was way. I was like, I felt it before. So we have monochromatic, which is for our $5 tier. Technicolor, which is the $10 tier,
holla.
And then we got the $10 holla. Then we got the here we go. Then we got the colorful tier, which is $20. That's the full video. What are we reading, watching? Monthly AMAs. You can ask us anything, and then we gonna do a whole bit of Patreon content just for y'all to ask. That's $20. So just saying. And then you also get an exclusive mug with our logo on it for that colorful tier.
That's
as
like
well.
You skip out on Starbucks twice and you're good. And
exactly. Exactly. I mean, I imagine you walking up to the Starbucks counter with our mug asking for a refill of your medium roast.
Exactly.
That's colorful people. Oh, this is very interesting. Let me move on to this next topic because so shout out to our Discord community. This comes from our Discord community, and I'm trying not to butcher the name, so I'm gonna try it, and then Jordan's gonna try it. Our Discord member, Bamileke.
I mean, I would have said
Bamaliki.
I would have said
that's what it. Bamaliki. That's what
Obama's nickname.
Okay, so they're gonna correct us if they listen to the podcast.
Yeah, please do. Please put a pronunciation in our Discord. We love being
corrected.
I would have said Bamalik.
That's what I would have said too.
I like that. Bamalik.
So new fan, new Discord member, Bamalik. We put out
shout out to them.
Shout out. We put out a PSA for anybody that has like topics that are just burning in their chest that they want us to talk about. So we put out a PSA, and then They were the first one to answer.
Facts.
So, and it was a great topic. So
Yeah.
obviously it's something that is a current raging debate nowadays, especially with
She brought
current
up,
stuff.
they brought up a couple things. I'm gonna read it too. For me, it's entitlement among fandoms and people who can't differentiate between fiction and reality. I love narrating. And people who can't separate the art from the artist, not in terms of someone committing actual harm, but more like people not liking an actor's performance. And then they thinking legitimately a bad person because of that, or thinking they're legitimately a bad person because of that, and vice versa. The entitlement aspect also intersects with a lot of misinformation that is actively spread and celebrated, i.e., I like when people drop that. That's like they getting off and they know they getting off, so they go keep going with it, calling all Western animators, comic creatives lazy because of bad faith comparisons to Japanese animation and manga. Ooh, that right there. That's a hot burning topic.
This is a hot topic.
What do we think? I mean,
my first thought when I was reading the comment was, obviously you get a lot of people that are mad disrespectful about Western animation in general.
yeah,
And like Western animation is so varied, which
Yeah.
I think is part of its strength, is that Western animators don't feel like they have to adhere to a specific way of doing something for it to be good.
yeah,
Because I mean, you have like 80s, 90s cartoons which were looked a certain way, and then you have like
Mhm.
the 2000s and like 2010s which looked very different, and then nowadays you have a lot of new stuff which looks almost indistinguishable from like traditional anime.
yeah,
And then you have a lot of creatives who are traveling to Japan and doing creative, and being creators in Japan. So I mean, you look at Yasuke, which we
Yep, yep.
reviewed a few months ago. Yasuke, the creator, is a Black American.
Mhm.
And it
I
was,
just
but it
saw
was
an
done.
article on that too.
Yeah, but it
like-
was done by a Japanese studio. And
Yeah.
so like you have American and other Western creators who are doing, some of them are Western stories, some of them are Japanese stories, utilizing Japanese studios.
Yeah, I just actually started one Crunchyroll exclusive. It's called Freak Angels, and it's done by a Japanese studio, but it's adapted from a graphic novel when by
Mm.
Westerner, and it's set in Britain.
Yeah.
And all the voice actors are British, and it's not dubbed.
yeah,
So it's originally
it's
was
like
made
originally in
Yes,
English.
it's
to be
in
set-
English.
to
Yeah,
be
right.
in English, which
Yeah.
is crazy. But
Which
it's
means
pretty
they're gonna
good
have
too.
to dub it to Japanese.
It's pretty good
Right,
too.
right.
There's not even
Japan.
there's not even an option for subtitles and
That's funny.
There will be an option for subtitles
and
in Japan.
Japanese
Right.
voiceover, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, and on Crunchyroll too. So that's
That's
that-
super interesting.
yeah,
And in today's comment, I think that. So I'll say this. So we almost collectively hated Cowboy Bebop. But what I'll say about Cowboy Bebop is the adaptation, that it was an effort. It's not an
Yeah.
effort that I liked, but
Right. But I
and
mean,
we were pretty critical of that. But I
Yeah.
think, and I'm not sure if this is what is even being referred to, but I think about like things that come from, and that's a lot of adaptation.
right.
But I'm not sure if it's fair to call Western art lazy.
Yeah.
There's just things I don't like for sure, because you talked about this even with Cowboy Bebop, is that a lot of younger people who never saw the anime loved it.
loved it. Yeah,
Yeah,
They're
right.
like, oh yeah, I don't get what the big deal is. They got a petition going. I think they should shoot that petition down. But that's my opinion. But I don't think that was the fact that there was so much validation on that
Yeah.
other end. That there's something there. Like there
Yeah.
is some validation of like, hey, this Western kind of art style, this live adaptation, it's all right. Like it ain't like
yeah, but that's younger people values differ too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Younger people
But
values coming from
you
Malcolm.
think about
Go
No,
ahead, Joe.
Gen Zers.
but seriously,
The young
seriously though,
bloods.
because it's like because foundations are less important now.
Yeah.
So I don't care what it was based off of and how faithful it is to that. Do I like it now?
Yeah.
Yes or no? And I like it now, so like your arguments are invalid to me.
Yeah.
So
What-
that's to a lot of different. That covers a lot of different subject matters, whereas like foundational things don't matter to the younger generation now.
Yeah.
Do I like it? Do I not like it? Does it make me feel good? Does it not make me feel good? Those are like the litmus tests for things now.
So I mean, and in that, and I'll let you speak too. In that, so do you feel
Damn
like
snappers?
Right? These young bloods. Oh Lord. Do you feel like Western art, like in the comic anime space, gets a bad rap, or is it appropriately rated to where it's at?
I mean,
yeah.
I think it does. I don't think it deserves the hate it gets. I think it is just different, and I think a lot of people who are hardcore anime and manga fans don't like Western art because it doesn't feel the same. But at the same time, like, it's not supposed to be the same. Like, that's
Quite
not
literally.
it's not a Japanese art. Like, anime as a style is a Japanese art style.
Yeah.
So saying that, hey, we're an American anime company, like, whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, not just American, but like what the Western world has been doing different but similar art for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so like cartoons, you look at like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, Avatar: The Last Airbender is arguably one of the best shows ever created. Like, and that's a Western show.
But you got to think that that's also almost 20 years old now.
Yeah.
But which adds credence to it.
Yeah,
though.
exactly. Which means that
time.
And I mean, you've got so many good examples of Western. I mean, like that video that Chris sent us, like we're looking at like 21 or 20 and 21.
Yep.
And like Western animation that came out.
Yeah.
You look at we reviewed Invincible.
Yeah.
Invincible was amazing.
Top tier.
Invincible was dope.
But what I would say is that those shows are closer to anime feels.
Sure.
Because a lot of American shows don't get like I would say they're not upfront about like the adult content as far as like and not even like blood and guts, but like
adult
like
themes.
depression. Yeah, adult themes, depression and family issues. Like in animes, they'll put that right up front. Like on Naruto, like he ain't got no parents,
right?
He a badass kid, and he's going through all the struggles. Best friend, like it's like these like betrayal and all like that's in your face in animes, and so and a lot of and you got to think these are also like high school and young adults that's champion anime too, so they want those things, and a lot of American cartoons outside of like Invincible and things like that are geared towards children explicitly.
Yeah.
And even Japanese children shows deal with heavier subjects up front, like early mid-90s American cartoons used to.
Yeah. But I think I feel you. I don't think, and to kind of address what they had mentioned was, I still don't think that falls on one, like the performance of the actors or voice actors that are involved, or even some like the director, screenwriter of these different comic books, anime, or American animes. I think that's on the viewer. That's not like, there's nothing. The thing about art, and art is very subjective. I'm always opinionated about all sorts of art all the time. Per our Eminem conversation. Like last week. I'm not gonna bring up during this episode because this is not a hip hop podcast yet.
Post pod,
but
we'll have to do a hip hop and anime pod
episode. Might as well be but like all that to say is that's a subjective opinion, even if how much I generalize
even if
in
you disagree, it's still
it's still a subjective opinion, and I think like I'm not sure if. Like, because what you're mentioning is, hey, the feeling is different. And even when it's good at Western anime comics, it's because it's closer to the Eastern style, which is fair.
Well,
but
also, not the Eastern style, but just that in general.
Yeah.
Not that anime does it in Western animation and stuff doesn't do it. It's just that
Right.
that theme in general I'm talking about.
Yeah, and that's fair. And I just feel like often what happens is, because don't get me wrong, there are terrible efforts. I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Right, especially we talk about live adaptations all the time. Especially, I think it's like Dragon Ball Z. A lot of like there are terrible live adaptation efforts
But
that just can't
Dragon
be
Ball Z
redeemed.
would be something that's against his point though. Because that's obviously was a money grab.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like there are real effort. Like we talked about Invincible. We talk about
Yeah.
all these different shows. I'm like, oh, this is good. And even if you don't like it, that don't mean that it's not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I don't know. I used to be heavy in everything that comes from Japan is gold and everything that comes out of America is trash. I just don't know if that's a appropriate way to look at art. You know what I mean?
No, but like I said, I think I would say that generally American serialized cartoons, like the stuff that comes on regular cable and things like that, are geared towards younger audiences.
Yeah.
And so in that they're more goofy and playful for the most part, which is like that seems lazy, even though it honestly takes a lot.
Takes a lot more to do that,
to keep a kid interested in stuff for every day.
Yeah.
But as far as like the people who would be in an argument like this, they would see that as, oh man, that's like you're not like that's lazy. But I will say this though, a lot of American pop culture, anime and animation and comics try to appeal to niche stuff. So it's like,
I mean, you think about Boondocks.
Yeah, I mean, even not even Boondocks, but I'm thinking like even like Superman. We don't need a black Superman.
No.
Still
don't need a black Superman. I want nothing to do with it.
Like there's black characters that already exist, or you can make an original.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing with any type of subculture. Make an original. Don't just try to tweak it to appease a niche group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a fair assessment. I think the part of the problem with the West, and because I don't have an issue with like I said, actors or a lot of the effort that's given. I think the problem is our source material, unlike manga and stuff like that. Our source material it starts from a niche.
Yeah.
Right. Like so, like kind of what you're saying. It starts from, oh, this is only for this sector of folks or whatever the case may be, and it's like you don't need to do that. Like I'm not sure if it's going to help the larger goal of appealing to or changing somebody's mind in this argument of like oh yeah, this is very relatable.
How that works.
That's not how that works. I think I was just thinking about something too, especially because like, I was reading their comment again and the lazy part stuck out. We were talking about that a little bit, but I was like, if you scroll through any sort of app nowadays, it's for reading manga.
Yeah.
Like you will see 50 of the same exact story with a different look.
Yeah.
Like literally, I started watching a show a couple days ago. It's called The Faraway Paladin. Okay. And the premise is it's a human boy who was adopted by 3 undead in like this ancient city. Okay. And like they raise him and he thinks he's the last human or whatever.
Yeah.
And then yada, 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 they prepare him to go out into the world, basically.
Yeah.
I've literally read 2 or 3 different mangas that I could think of off the top of my head with this same exact story.
Yeah.
Like there was another one that I read where it was the same. It was even 3 characters. It was, and it was still 2 guys and a female character. Like, except in this story, they were gods and goddesses. And like, you had even the same exact tropes, same exact types of character. Like that is literally a copy and paste story. That is the definition of lazy.
Oh yeah.
Which tropes are understandable. It's just like you said, when the plot is
I think that's the thing too, is like I feel like American specifically, I don't know about other Western shows, but I feel like American animation is less trope heavy than anime is.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like a lot, because like you were saying, with a lot of it being geared towards niche audiences, I feel like a lot of it too is cultural and political commentary.
Yeah.
You know, which anime has obviously, but that's not like the purpose
Yeah,
of
yeah,
anime.
All right. Yeah. Like for
I mean,
example,
you think about like, no, sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you off,
you
but
good,
you
you
think
good.
about
Go for it.
like Family Guy or like
Yeah.
South Park,
Yeah.
you know, where like they are routinely criticizing or making fun of
Yeah.
cultural norms.
But I
or
would say
politics.
this too, to for the point. We're not culturally Japanese.
right,
So all
Right.
these cartoons could be just as preachy or whatever as
Yeah.
we see
Right.
American
Exactly.
cartoons,
Yeah,
but we have no context for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
But they're doing the exact same thing over
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
as we
True.
are over here. You
Which
know what
is-
I mean?
Which kind of adds another layer to the argument too. And I guess I'll say this and then we'll close or whatnot, because I think the problem is when you have this. Like, I don't get me wrong, we're here because we love anime, we love comics, we love everything in nerd culture. But when you have this vision and view that, and this is funny because when we did the Yasuke review, like it didn't help this point, but that I'm about to say. But when you're doing this, there's no such thing as just kind of gatekeeping of, well, it can only be great from here.
sure, yeah,
Because especially if the Western world just
Yasuke
started.
is different though. It's a black man doing a black story. You're not supposed to fumble that ball.
Yeah, you can't fumble that.
You're not
It's
supposed
like
to
you have
fumble
one
that
person
ball.
in Japanese history that was black.
Right.
How you gonna mess that up, right?
You
Come on,
you
dog.
out here
Now we
running,
gotta create one. Now we gotta make a whole
running
other
in
one.
circles like Patrick Mahomes at the end of the game.
But like, other than that, I think what the West just started kind of getting into, and we're just starting to get good, like
Yeah,
just starting.
Good at what?
Kind of the animation style that kind of is anime, because
mean,
we have a few staples for
But
sure.
if you think about it, it's kind of weird because like all the movie animation stuff is always top.
It's amazing.
Think about the DC animated universe.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
All those look
Right.
great.
Yeah.
Action, choreography, all that's great.
Yeah.
It's just that they don't commercialize
Yep.
the high quality stuff,
Yeah.
which might go to the. I wouldn't know if I would necessarily call it lazy, but
Nah, and again, that has
But
nothing to
it
do
is-
with the
it is-
art. That has to do with the.
it's expensive to make
Yeah,
those. And if you're gonna do
exactly.
something that come out every week that looks like that,
Yeah.
right.
that's gonna cost a lot of money. That's
And though, because those anime houses, they not really paying their people like that. So
no, and
you
they're
know.
basically like tied to their desk.
And-
so.
Yeah.
the anime. But for American things, a lot of things with the stuff that used to come on in late 80s, early 90s. Shout out to the 80s babies. Old man over here. Toys were big. Toys aren't as
Yeah,
big as
yeah.
they used to be.
That's
So even if you lost money on making the show, you would make it.
Yeah, sure.
You would rake it
even
hand over
even
fist.
collecting cars like we were talking about earlier. That's a thing of the past,
Yeah,
or
but
thing of the
Think
past.
about Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles could put out a new toy every week, and that thing would be sold out every week.
Yep.
Batman, like all that, but that stuff isn't what hit kids anymore.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense in the American, or at least the American landscape, to produce high quality kids shows because kids don't buy toys, and that's where you would have to recoup
Yeah, right.
your money in.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think, yeah, man, I feel you on that. I think so. I mean, to close, I think that give the West some time. It's gonna be okay. don't call everything lazy, because one, there's just too much good out there to just broad stroke label everything that comes out of Western and culture, like anime or whatnot, as like useless or pointless. I think if you like a certain style, you like a certain style. Like you were talking about Arcane, and it's like, hey, well, it's not really my style of design. Like I can respect the story and all of that, but it's not my style, and that's okay. But I don't think you have to paint a broad stroke.
Yeah, right.
Even if you see like a Yasuke, you're like, nah, you don't have to paint a broad stroke of all Western animation, especially in the comic book anime realm. But
yeah,
good combo.
I want to run something real quick.
Go for it.
Because I'm on my old man high horse.
Right now, here, feller.
I don't know how old they are.
I'm not sure.
We don't know. They didn't give us that data.
But if you think about it, think about the stuff that's come out in the early 90s in America. You got like the X-Men cartoons, Spider-Man
Yes.
cartoon,
Thundercats.
Even
Yes.
Thundercats, Gargoyles,
Yeah.
Batman animated series.
Even
Yeah,
Transform. Yeah,
all
anyways.
that's up here.
Right.
You only had a handful of anime at that time.
Yep.
That
yeah,
was the
and
top
nothing
10.
that was right, and
Like,
really nothing that was
I mean,
internationally published.
Yeah, I mean, and
Like a handful of stuff.
over here, late 80s, you'd had Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
Late 80s, early 90s, Yu Yu Hakusho, Sailor
Yeah.
Moon.
Yeah,
Like-
Rurouni Kenshin, a
Yeah.
little bit.
Like that's like mid 90s. So
Yeah.
like that's even to neck and neck.
Yep.
So they kind of catching up to where we were
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because we like in America, in the Western world, we have those. Those are
Yeah.
still staples to
Yeah.
this
They're
day.
filling the gaps that those
And those-
left behind.
And a lot
Yeah.
of those cartoons still hold up. Like
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Like you can watch Gargoyles right now and be
Oh,
like,
for sure.
man,
Well, that's why that's why all these streaming sites have all the you know,
Yeah,
that's why
like
Disney
Hulu,
Plus
like,
exists
yeah,
the
they
way it
got- yeah,
does.
yeah.
Hulu, even what's the terrible one?
Which one? Peacock?
Amazon.
Peacock is terrible. Paramount.
Paramount Plus?
oh,
Yeah, they even have like a few of those
I
old
don't-
cartoons
Yeah,
on
yeah.
there. But that's because it's like back to the earlier conversation. That catalog is like unmatched.
yeah,
like
the
that
catalog
came
is
out at
crazy.
that time.
Even the Disney stuff like Darkwing Duck,
Yes,
Yeah, right.
yes.
DuckTales, Tailspins,
Exactly.
all that's top tier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we've been there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when you can appreciate stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, the youngest
Yeah.
don't necessarily know that
And,
happened.
and I'll say this too, and this isn't to knock. This isn't a knock like Japanese anime, but like I don't. It's not really a lot of oversaturation going on too in the Western market because of that. Good or bad, like because that does mean it's like a few folks that have monopolies on certain
Yeah, right.
things, but at the same time, it's you don't have that issue of all right. This is the 5th time telling the same story this year.
Right.
At least not in the same year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's because only a few people are kind of making things at that caliber. But anyways, good point. With that, we're gonna close this out. And first of all, if y'all want us to talk about anything, or want us to say anything, you can leave a message on the show. If you're a Patreoner or patron, definitely comment on this episode, and also holler us at us in the Discord. It goes down in the Discord.
It does.
It's a lot of good conversation, a lot of good community, nerds, blurs, everybody in between. And y'all know the slogan: stay colorful. Peace.